Preparing to live stream, darling.
Here we go.
So here we go, allowing episode number 1 to kick off. How exciting is this?
Super.
Okay. Oh, the energies that it has taken to clear to come on today. Hello, this is episode 1 of a very exciting new 2-weekly embodying and co-creating new earth energies. A lot of words here, collectively, consciously, commencing a new video series. This is a brand new platform and I want to welcome Chris Trujillo with me today. Hey, Chris.
Hey, sister. Thank you so much for having me back again. So excited.
Yeah. This is an episode 1 of a brand new platform. So thank you for coming here today. This is going to be every 2 weeks, as I did mention before. And let me double check that we are, gosh, I hear others go through this. Let me double check that we are live streaming through. And yes, we are. So thank you, everybody. Chris, I'm just going to welcome a few people here because this is something new to the planet. And embodying in moving to a new earth energy is a brand new thing. It is a brand new way of new earth ascension, because I call us new earth ascension pioneers. And is there anything you'd like to share with that at the moment?
Yeah, I just like to say, Anastacia, that as you bring these people in and say hello, because it's not just you and me here on this video together, you know, doing this alone. It's all of us that join here live together, and even those that see it afterwards, you know, and so I feel that's very important as well, to bring everyone along with us on this journey and co-creating together.
Totally, completely. So as Chris is talking, I'm still feeling all the energies of everybody coming in. So Chris is just holding space. He knows, and Chris understands the energy space that I'm holding. And for myself, bringing through energies firstly ahead of time to the planet for 26 years consciously, that I did directly with the divine, and I have a mission from God, myself with humanity, has been in linking our spirit to our soul, and being ahead of time has been quite challenging. And it's come to the point now where we have been behind the scenes for so long that we need to come up and out more. And this means get uncomfortable. It's time to get uncomfortable and be seen and heard. Okay, energies are processing. Chris, can you give me a hand and share a bit more about this, about being honest with ourselves with 2022, please?
For sure. And it's like you say, a lot of it comes from stepping out of our comfort zone and really being willing to do that, because it's like they say, at the end of the day, you know, no true growth can come from being within our comfort zone. It always takes that brave step forward, you know, into the unknown to fully, you know, immerse ourselves into this experience of expanding in our consciousness and in our love. And so, yeah, it's
How did you feel today in coming on today? See, how did you feel? I can read what you wrote to me in the email. Is you haven't felt like talking or interacting much with others at all. You felt a little pulled in a reserve, nothing heavy, but like how you wrote, not really wanting to interview and talk and share. Nailed it, because I didn't want to come here and interview you. I didn't want to come in here. And so Chris and I have come on with episode 1, And we're working it out and figuring it out and being honest with you in how we're feeling in doing this, because that is what will help others.
Yep.
And so you said, yes, you not really want to interview or talk, and that's how you felt today. And you wrote, I hear with you being the only one to steer this. And it seems that energy of you being the only one is little by little phasing out in a way where we're now to step up alongside you to embody what we say and claim. And also because it's not for you to do on your own anymore, and us either behind the scenes. And I wrote, yes, 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 we do need to step it up and be a little uncomfortable masters. I am an open book on screen for the last 2 years, and I cry and I get excited and I share. My arm twitches. Everything you see in me being totally and completely honest. And this is what has allowed you guys to grow further into your imperfections. See, these are all words, whereas we need to embody our words. There's a big difference. Chris, you coming here live and talking is a different feeling to writing an email to me. It takes bravery. It takes courage to come up from behind the scenes and come on here today and be with me. And there are others that have put their hand up to follow, to come and join us every 2 weeks, whether it is you and I, or whether it is you, I, and another master that's coming in, because it's intimidating. The anxiety levels that we feel are through the roof at times, yet it's saying, push through those, come on, voice and speak live. So I want to thank you. It's 9/11 here. I want to thank you for coming on today, allowing yourself to show your vulnerabilities.
Thank you for having me, because it's like you say, it's raw and real ascension, you know, that's part of all of it together. And it's like it really brings home to, you know, to heart what you do and what you've been doing over these past 2 years. And now I'm, you know, stepping into the same space with you. And it's like, it makes it a whole lot more real in this experience, you know. It's not, and it's like you say, it's embodying. It's no longer just talking or writing about it, you know.
All the words have been said and written was my message. So what I'd like everyone to do right now is to picture under your feet a green plate. See a green plate under your feet and see the energy slowly coming up through you. And over this hour, or however long we're guided to be on here today, is to continue to see this green filter up through your body. And it will take time. Allow the whole hour, excuse me, burping to release is the energy is releasing from the solar plexus. If you haven't got that vision of that green plate with the energy under your feet straight away, then I want you to see it in front of you like on a big screen. I know it's very cliche to say this, but just go with me, because we use our mind a lot to process, get caught up, and are coming from the head and the mind. And I have a saying that Spirit brought through as being spiritually mindful consciously, and that's going to come into play. Your consciousness and your words and everything that you're saying to yourself is now coming into play. I will explain more about this in a minute. I just am asked to share with you that we are bringing through new divine healing energies for the collective consciousness today. We need to co-create in new unity energies to create our new earth together, masters. Okay, let me say this again, because anybody can write these words. Anybody can verbalize these words. And what today is about embodying and taking it that step further to feel into these words right here, right now, newly for the very first time. To allow your mind of the old to release and not to go into what you've done and what you can relate to. I went through this last week and the solar flares coming, this, that. Please breathe and stop. Tilt your head back and take what I call a galactic breath. I need to release all these energies where it's 9:14 and we're clearing energies still. This is what it's taken to come in to learn newly how to embody. Let me read again what I wrote. We need to co-create. Chris and I are co-creating here and with you in new unity energies. With you, we're uniting together to create our new earth together. And today is a brand new platform that is a brand new foundation for commitment for the rest of the year, for every 2 weeks, as guided, to bring through these live streaming videos. This was news and a shock to me myself when it came through. Chris?
Big time.
It's a big commitment. However, we're living in service 24/7 in Christ consciousness, in pure divine unconditional love. You got anything else better to do? Is there anything else? We need to get uncomfortable. To create a new earth and a new path means get a little uncomfortable. Show up in your embodiment and be honest in some way new. I'd like to go through here now, Chris. I know you're good with me saying, do what you feel, Anastacia. So welcome to episode number 1, not taking the old into the new and embodying these energies is a whole brand new concept, whole brand new way. Because on the 1st of January this year, a wall of energy came in that is unable to be broken down or pushed through. Let me explain more. The years and years of sharing and writing has reached a stopping point with January 2022. Just take a moment to feel these energies. Know that all the shadow sides are here. They are out. What you are feeling is not just the energies outside of you. You're feeling of the wall that came in on the 1st, and it's not shifting. One may say, what do you mean wall? What is this wall? Just sit with me. There is a wall of energy. It has energetically arrived. Remember, these are ahead of time. You may feel a battling of energies in a new way. That's it. Less words, more feeling and accepting of energies. To pull your energies in from everyone and everything, yet again with the new super consciousness of the old cannot come through to the new. And we will unravel this together in these new 2 weekly videos, live streaming with ourselves and other masters who are coming out from behind the scenes, speaking up and out from below and beyond their icebergs to bravely embody all they are in a live streaming video, as if not us, then who? Being honest with ourselves is the energy for 2022 as guided through Anastacia with the divine Blue Beyond Guide. When we talk and table, that is us voice and being heard. And I shared 1 to 3 years ago that to voice is essential. So today is a brand new platform that is newly being created that is taking us to step out of our comfort zones. And it's taking that next step ahead of time and showing up, no matter how we are feeling, in divine faith and trust, real and honest. And I wrote with this healing energy as I'm reading, no more guru sharing for platforms. We are the platforms, and our hands clasping and joining together is our linking and our stability into our new earth future. And it begins with you and me. We feel a whole big bush or big, like a big ball of energy of the world energy, then everything you've been taking on, see that right now in front of you and see this world energy lifting. How can Chris and I continue to talk, move forward until I clear these energies? This is very well worth it. We need to clear the flotsam and the jetsam the vision was giving, being in water, moving ahead. And the water is full of debris. We need to lift this debris up and out consciously. See it release. And know that this flotsam and jetsam of energies will continue to come towards us. We need to back them out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. This will be continually for 22 people. So we are providing a brand new platform every 2 weeks to assist you freely, gifting from the divine through each of these precious, amazing masters that are coming into this sacred space with me is no small matter. This needs to be honored and respected. And I just give a prayer and thanks in unconditional love and blessings for Chris being here with me in this space today and from all of you joining me right now. This is a universal upgrade. We choose to come in here to be with you. So when people share with me on my Blue Beyond Guide Facebook page about it's this, it's that, I just say, come and watch a video and come back and message me. No more explaining ourselves to others. I need to take a moment. Chris, is there anything you'd like to feel and to share here?
That was amazing, Anastacia. I'd just like to thank you for what you written brought through there. Yeah, that felt amazing. Yeah, it really is, that really is the name of the game now, is showing up and simply trusting, because it's even like in today, we both didn't really know how this was going to go with the energies that we were feeling before and all of that, and all we did was simply choose to show up, have faith, and go with the flow. And as we do, the talking table, things clear. And totally, that's exactly what it's all about. And in everyday life, it's the same deal,
So what are we going to bring through new, Chris? That is the question. What are we going to bring through new now that we've stated that? I'm just looking at my notes here.
I feel what we're going to bring through is like the realness of coming into the new. And as you were speaking, how there's the walls now that if we're going to try to remain in the old, we're continually going to hit these walls. And what I feel you mean by that is like, we will no longer be able to move forward. Constantly we're going to be met with, some kind of opposing force, and until we're willing to step out of our comfort zone and embody the new, which takes letting go of the old and detaching,
Well, it's actually, thank you. Yes, it is that. And let me go deeper with that one. That is currently happening. I've heard of people being injured with something hitting them. I've heard of people went to get in the car and it just flat out the battery stopped. They weren't meant to go on the journey they were meant to go on. They knew it was a sign. However, let's look at a bigger picture here, what's happening. Even though you have just said, and we have said what we've said, let's bring that into the human embodiment in real-time examples. The way that what we're going to bring through is we're going to bring the human realness in examples, because I did a live video in the private 144 New Earth Pioneer Facebook group. That's for masters that are wanting deeper, more of my energy personally, of a private sacred space that I hold, that people are invited in. It's very interesting how that works. And so I did a live yesterday that I needed to shift and share some energies in that private sacred space. And there were people that were in energies and listening to what I was saying about this wall. And thank you for everyone in the private 144 group for your love and support. For the last 5 years we've been going, it's been an incredible platform to help me to bring out further with humanity. And in return, it's all exchange. Everything's energy exchange. That's another big one. And someone was in a process and releasing in that sacred safe space and wrote, well, I'll just have to push through that wall and we'll have to find new ways. I said, oh, it's not about breaking that wall. It's not that kind of wall. This wall cannot be moved. This new wall, I don't know any other way to explain it but now, and I'm not asking anyone to answer that for me, because I will let you know and humanity know ahead of time, being an ascension pioneer, what I bring through is firstly to the planet. And that's where a lot of ego and competition, people really struggle when I say that, Chris. They really struggle, the competitiveness, and us holding hands together is us uniting, co-creating. That's our strength, you know. So yet there are new people that may not know of these energies that want to jump in and say things, and I just say, take a breath and sit back and just fucking listen for once. Like, you know, you need to be able to be teachable. And I share that. You need, I'm teachable. I listen. I do know, and I'm right, very passionate what I bring through firstly, because 26 years is a long time. And I'm not going to have a young person in their 20s full of ego and just come into their spiritual stuff, tell me, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes they need to be told to pull their heads in. And look, it's just the truth in unconditional love, because I share and bring through what I would like someone to have been able to be there for me, because there was no one there for me, you know. Yet I'm not a great hero. You are all my heroes. So big shift of energy come through with that, Chris. That was big. So, and that person, as far as that wall, I said, no, this is a different wall. And they said, and I started going into circles, and they said, okay, that's me. I'm coming from my head. Thank you. I need to surrender and let go of that wall. I said, yes, it's the old energy. So Chris, I want to say with this wall, it is a wall of the old energies we cannot break. And I want to share another big bit of information is the old world is cracked. This only came through not long ago. So the vision that I was given, it's broken. It's not going to be fixed. That was the vision I was given. And then the wall came, and then there's us creating the new. That was the 3-stage vision. I wonder if that helps anybody. I'm seeing a few people just shifting some energy. I'm reading some words. Authenticity. No more explaining ourselves. Burping to release Lisa. Somebody's battling the COVID. Well, you're embracing that experience and upgrading your immune system. And I wish you all the best. If you have had that, if you've got that at the moment, it's for a reason. Okay, lots of energy shifting. Are you feeling the energies coming through, Chris? It's pretty full on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wayne said, awesome to see some sunshine. I have the fan on. It's really, really hot and humid. They're battling -42 in northern Canada. Hello, beautiful Tanya Phoenix, Rhonda, Lisa, Tone from Barbados, Christy, my beautiful Bolt from France, our Blu-ray brother. Lots of people here. Jeff, some new names. Welcome to those. Well, come and join in for some energy of some rawness, realness, and some authenticity. Hello, my beautiful goddess, Kat Corchado. Beautiful to see you. Monique, Tara, Maddie, you're welcome. Veronica, Natalie. Okay, heaps. Di, Udzi, thank you for explaining that further. You're welcome. So as you write here, any question that may come up as we're sharing and talking, please feel free. I'll pick them up. So today is a combination. It's not an interview. It's not, today is just, it is whatever it is. There are discombobulated energies. Okay, big shifts coming, a grandmaster energies coming in right now. Big golden ball. See a golden flower of life energy over the planet globally, and get out of this daisy of death bullshit that people talk about at this moment. There is a time and a place, and I need to get rid of that energy. The flower of life is in our cells, in our bodies. That is what I'm talking about, the organic, living, Christ consciousness, flower of life energies over our planet right now. There we go. Feel that? We are co-creating new unity energies for healing for the whole planet right here together. We can do this every 2 weeks for the whole year, or as long as we are guided to do. That way your energy can feel it's contributing directly. I assure you these energies are ahead of time and first to the planet linking spirit to soul, of what took 26 years to get here. So thank you. You are important. You matter. Chris, there's something you need to bring through and share. I can feel your energies. Can you feel your heart and your energy centers opening up?
Yep,
Is there
absolutely.
anything coming for you to share? Or
You know what? Not at the moment, Anastasia.
okay, so you
Let's
take a
continue
moment
to go.
for me, darling. And
Yeah.
see, the thing is, when we're in brother and sister Christ consciousness, I can talk to Chris in this way and say, hey, Chris, can you just sit with me for a minute, darl? Can you fill into what it is you would like to share and say? So, and then I'll just keep talking. And then because everybody that's coming on, I'm asking them, feel into what is your message for humanity? What is it you really want to say? When I was asked this years ago, I've been on many radio interviews over the years, and they felt a bit stilted for me, and there would have been only bits where I flowed with the divine. Because I'm such a huge antenna, big energy in ninth dimensional energies, first of the planet, I feel everything. And so I was processing healing the energies. I'm unable to not do that with others, just like you do with others as well. Okay, take that on a grand scale. Bring something new through to the planet as a trailblazer, which I often bring up the example in the human. I actually did that when I was in the military and brought a new rule into Parliament for the whole Australia for all women. Thank you, Kat, beautiful Kat Cochado, Sisters in Service, for doing a podcast with me, for me to talk for the first time. For the first time in over 20 years of my abuse and what I endured in the military, it took a lot of guts for me, and Kat beautifully held the space. Thank you, sister. So I'm not just saying these things. I back myself up with proof because I'm no guru on a platform. Get away from that. You are the guru. You're creating your own platform. And for anyone that may not know, I've enabled the transcript today. So if anybody would like to turn that on for themselves, I'll let you work that out for yourself how to. The transcript is here today. So it's taught me to speak slower and more clearly because, as I say, I'm Greek and I'm loud and I'm passionate, I want to talk, and I'm Australian. We talk really quick and then slow the fuck down, Anastacia. And now bringing Chris into the space is being spiritually mindful consciously. I'm holding the space with Chris because the energies just want to come in non-stop. And we need to breathe, to slow down our infinite energies that are pouring very quickly. We were born impatient. You were born ready. You're an alpha. If you're in this space with me right now, you're an alpha. Don't tell me what to do. I'll touch the wet paint. Wow, feel the peace and the beautiful lotus that just came in then, white with light pink. Can you feel that? So I can say to Chris whatever I fucking want, and I don't have to monitor myself because he knows, he feels I can only come from. When I say, oh, Chris, shut up for a minute, I just want to say this, he goes, yep, you go. We just banter. And this is paradise. And this is what people are not used to. And this is what we're bringing up publicly, the banter and the playfulness, where we can say whatever we want. No egos, no shadow energies. And if they are, we own them. Own your shadow side, your isms. I always say, I know I'm impatient. I know I'm loud. I know I'm a bit bossy. Baby, I was born this way. Hey, I didn't come in with the song. I did. I was singing heaps before I came in. It was the only way I could shift the energy. So, Chris, I'm going to go into now what kicked this off today. Let's just take a minute.
Okay.
Sprinkle some little silver stars come through.
Real quick, Anastasia, if you don't mind, I'll add something.
Absolutely. No, real quick. Go for it. Take your time.
Okay. So really all I would like to say is that's the beautiful thing about like what we're co-creating here is it's natural and organic. It's real life ascension. And not only that, but like there's a million places out there to get spiritual knowledge. But what we offer is spiritual wisdom because we've lived it, especially you that have come 26 years and blazing the trail. You know what I mean? So it's not like we tell you all this information almost like a guru and then just let you go. It's like we've
We're
actually
living it
lived this.
with you.
Yep.
We lived
Yes,
it.
exactly.
We're living, like you've had a lot of
Life.
experience in the past. Sorry, darling, keep going.
No, that's it. That's what I was getting to. Go for it.
Beautiful. Well, that what's some of the stuff that you've done in the past? You're very fascinating, and I feel really blessed and honored that it is me that is helping you to anchor these energies into the planet, because most of the masters I meet are people that have gone everywhere, tried elsewhere, tried everything else on the planet, have traveled the world. They come back and I go, oh, I can help you with that.
I believe that.
And
totally.
And you went to other who were the other masters that you listened to?
Well, actually, I just as I grew up, I started getting more and more interested in stuff like this, and then I ended up working with one master that's really helped me for pretty much like 17 years. But really, and he was the one that kind of sparked this whole interest off. But really, I just took it upon myself to start really researching, kind of went into like a seeker mode, like kind of how we all kind of did in the beginning. And then from there, it was like I hit a certain point too where I was like, I needed something beyond that knowledge to help me bring, I don't know, to embody it more, I guess I would say. And so the only person that I had found that had that realness was you and in your writings. And eventually it just worked out how we connected, and from there we went, right? But yeah, it took all of that to still need the real life.
Let me pause. When you say me and my writings, I blush a bit because I have a little shy girl, an introvert, and I know it's the Christ energies that comes through me directly with source, because I've had a very tough and challenging life, and I've had a few lifetimes in one to get to the point to bring through those pure divine Christ energies. And it was that from God, source, Christ, supreme creator, a million words. Okay, those Christ golden energy words that come through me as a human vessel of cutting through the bullshit and being a trailblazer and clearing my vessel is what it was. Yeah. And you say me, and I thank you. And I can't, when people compliment me, I do take it in. And I also know, however, we are one. It's you. It's a spark of the divine. Thank you for thanking me. It is the energies of the living Christ words that you were needed, and you were like a sponge, and you just soaked that up, and that's what you felt, and that's what people feel.
Yes.
Thank you. And I just love it when people will share that. And I just need to read something. There's something about that energy. Chris Carey wrote, what you are saying resonates. Thank you. Diane, your bloody husband, handbag, he says, don't give up my day job with my singing. Not my opinion, as I feel a release through your voice singing. Yeah, he can have a cup. Tell him my Kiwi friend from across the ditch can have a cup of you know what. So thank you for that. Rhonda so beautifully expressed, Chris. Trust is the most beautiful thing in the universe. So the two of you are amazing, trailblazing and unconditional love and unity. Great to see you together explaining the energies. Hilla said, I've been talking about this as well. We are in 4D, shedding the old. The planet, I'm not sure if you talk about the planet humanity. We're in 5D to 9D in this space today. So just a reminder, this is living 5D energies. Actually, the energy space I'm living in is 9th dimensional energy. So this is taking you above and beyond any other energies. And this is ahead of time. So you are upgrading. So when someone writes, it's because of this, that, the other, stay in this moment and take away what you know and feel for you what today is. with everything else you know in the world going on, and I'm going to stick with this in love to all those people that write comments. I'm going to, in step in faith, trust and get out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to be honest and speak up more, Chris. And I'm very honest. I'm taking things a step further. How are you going to take things a step further? Be more honest. If nothing comes at the moment, it's all good. That's fine. I'm just throwing it out there.
It's just, and that's a big part of this year, is being honest with ourselves, you know, and that comes to honestly speaking up. And what we're really finding now is like, we can't put up with how we've been real honest with ourselves, but at the same point, it's going to a deeper level where we're really having to, you know what I mean, get down to the nitty gritty of actually, like I say, speaking up or doing what it takes.
Speaking up the inner voice that you would say to yourself. It just came. See, when Michael tells me some things and I say, well, did you tell that person that? What he said was fantastic. Well, no, I said it to myself. I went, you need to actually say your inner voice and speak that up. And if you're coming from a place that you haven't felt, thank you, Chris, this is kicked off a new stream. If you're coming from a place, you're in the inner truth. If you're coming from a place that you haven't felt, addressed, that's still in shadow, that you haven't fully unconditionally loved yourself, that you haven't taken a moment to listen to your inner thoughts and words and your mental circles going around, how can you be honest with yourself? So listen, this is a lifelong process. We've got the whole year to explore this together, because 2022 is a year of being honest. So when I say, or we say, being honest, beyond the below iceberg explanation is what you're getting here, of what I just explained to you, that inner shadow little voice. Someone said, I love the upgrades, be more honest. For me, stop censoring. Shadows continuing forth to show me. Beautiful. Thank you for being honest. That's a breakthrough. That's a breakthrough. So, okay. Is there anything else you want to share? Energies are buzzing and dragons are coming. Things are moving. Is there, if you do, just give me a yell. I'm just going to go through a moment. Someone said, beautiful sharing, Chris. Thank you for showing up and sharing your journey with such authenticity. That's what's been said for you, darling.
Thank you.
So what kicked off today was on the 1st of the 1st, a video was brought through, and also on the 25th of the 12th. And you sent me an email, as you do, with your amazing words. I love your words. Your words need to be felt. Your words need to be felt for you to grow further on your journey is what came. And for me to be in this divine space with you is part of furthering my journey too. And for everyone that's joining us today is part of furthering your journey too, to let go and release everything that you know and take this golden moment for you, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a street sweeper, a mother, a bookkeeper, a son, whatever label, remove everything and allow yourself a golden moment. This is pure source, divine energies through clear vessels. I have not found another space of a clear vessel that I could come into a space with to talk, so I can no longer talk in other spaces with others that are unable to either hold a space with me or a clear. And that's why I'm bringing these through for myself to grow further, because I waited for years and years and I went, I have to do this myself to be able to talk freely with those masters and souls that understand pure unconditional love, because many are still yet to experience and feel pure unconditional love. That still surprises me, Chris.
Yep.
So many.
And even internally, you know, within our own selves, for one thing, you know.
Especially.
Yep.
Especially.
Firstly.
Yeah. can feel you processing and analyze something's happening, what's happening. Is there an upgrade going through?
I was just feeling that that's where we really have to monitor like our self-talk and a lot of stuff like that, you know, because it's our self-talk, our thoughts, our inner words, you know, and especially the old patterns. And that's a big thing now, is becoming conscious of what's an old pattern. And it used to be a repeating loop within your head, and becoming aware of it, and now kind of accepting it and addressing it, you know, really, because that's where we're at really now. You know, it's like you say, the shadows are coming up, and now's the time to deal with them, to release, to step into the new. The old can no longer come into the new.
Because if you're not conscious, there's a lot to this.
Yep.
People, I wrote, are slumbering consciously in the uptake. And that was said gently in love. And also with what you just said, look at what I wrote this morning. Bit of silence is good sometimes, isn't it?
Absolutely.
New conscious choices need to be made. I hear and read the words, yet I'm seeing people taking the old energy into the new. And that's what's also led to this first of a new series of videos of co-creating in new embodiment. In Old Ascension, people could get away with the words being shared and them learning and taking years to learn. On the 1st of January, that's altered. For those ready, that new conscious choices need to be made, that you will hear those words, yet you'll still need to put them into play in new moments all the time in co-creating a new earth energy this year. And I'll give you some examples. Energy upgrade, higher heart on a universal level is happening right now. Discombobulation is the word, and I wrote about this briefly. This is a major transition of both spirit and soul. We have had 2 waves come through from the 1st of January already. It's only the 9th, Chris. Mm-hmm. It is so big that there was no updates could have been written to encapsulate how big this is, because for the last 18 years, more publicly since about 2012, 13 though, have been written that those words, I'm no longer able to continue talking in that way. So, because no more words can cover or portray the ahead of time, living and embodying the new earth energies, that love and feeling is the key, the answer, the way back home to you in Christ consciousness. So we're only beginning in a new way of a new wave. And there is nothing else left to wait for. And souls are starting to slowly feel the effects of the 1st of January now. Many have hit a wall in some way with something. And the last place we feel a shift is on the physical. So there is super body aches and pains and releasing on a mega scale. And then another wave that came in. So most don't even realize 2 waves came in. I'm seeing 50-50. I'm seeing some feel the first, some feel the second. It's very interesting. Now the pitch is shifting. So there's a massive masculine feminine upgrade happening right now as I'm talking and bringing through these divine words that I wrote before through my vessel voicing. They are living divine words of a universal upgrade for you. So if you remain here, you will feel this just by showing up. This is very important for humanity, because I've pulled back more in the longer updates. It's time for a new way, hence today. So I'm going to give an example about being honest and feeling the energies. There are beyond below the iceberg email updates that an energy exchange has been asked for the energy to be respected, that if souls are wanting what I'm still writing, that I'm no longer share publicly, people are all too willing to make a contribution for the energy exchange to flow through for healing. Okay, that's how it works. When it came to the monthly healings, the monthly exchanges, it has been asked for AU25 or what you feel. That is a guide. Okay, so this is leaving it open. So somebody made a regular payment of 11. Energetically, I could feel the dissonance of that. And I wrote back to them and I reminded them. And they said to me this, they made the exchange difference. And they said, thank you for this. You were right. There was something energetically holding me back. Everybody that is on those email exchanges receives healing energy by being on the list. Okay, this is important for you to understand where you place your energy matters. The nitty gritty. So that soul thanked me and they said, you're right, there was something energy holding me back. They said, the new year has brought a great shift leaving the old behind. Last month feels like years ago. Energy exchange is all. If it is not an exchange, you have found out or will find out more and more, you are unable to be in a situation or conversation or with others even more so than before. Now, Chris, is there something you want to share with that? That came through. I was quite surprised. I was guided to share that. Is there something you'd like to add to that exchange?
Yeah, sure. And I would just like to say that at the end of the day, it's all about balance and, like you say, energy exchange. And and as we step into the new, that's no longer supported, and on both ends,
No.
from the one that's being asking the exchange to the one making the exchange, because this is the way the universe works. It has to remain in balance. So yeah, I feel that's very, very big now. And as we continue to go forward, I feel like people are going to see it in a much more apparent way than ever before, because especially like I think I even put on that email, it's becoming too uncomfortable to remain in that same continual loop. You know what I mean?
Yes, however, there are many that I can see in their minds are staying in loops. And what's happening is, Chris, we need to reevaluate. I'm just starting to get a bit hot here. Reevaluate all our connections. It started last year for me. We need to reevaluate all our connections with everybody. That is still happening, and that's really big still. So I'm going to start winding the energies up. So it might be another 5 minutes or so. Can go up to 15 minutes when I say I just want to wind up, because this will need to be watched a couple of times to uptake everything. So I will aim for the hour to make it, because we can do this in 2 weeks' time. We can do and I want to go over and read out the email that you said to me that led to today, and then whatever comes from that. So, Chris, did you want to share? There's no rush. We have time. Did you want to share anything about the embodying and you doing today and what this means for you for today?
Sure. And really, it's pretty huge, for me personally, because first off, I've never actually saw myself being in a space like this, and coming on publicly and all of that. But
he's cute, isn't he, everyone? Isn't he cutie? Yeah, keep going. Isn't he cutie? Yeah. I'm so naughty. Sorry, I'll be professional now, Chris.
So it's all about, right?
So no, keep going. You're right. You never expected yourself to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going to all, you were reading and you went and got all this great information from these masters. You were really,
it was a buildup. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And that's what I was going to say, as I continued on my journey and then began to work with you, that was the big thing, was like, and I remember you telling me, it's like, you need to bring this more into the human. And that's a huge thing, because so many are trying now in these days to do everything in spirit. And so they could be doing all this great work in spirit, but in human, they still have to catch up to themselves, right? So it's like, for me, that was the big opportunity that this gave me, was to embody this in the human and to bring that down to this, to the physical life, and then to spread it and share my light with, other ascending masters that are exactly in the same, process as me, because I'm no different. And just like you say, you're no different than anybody else that's tuning in, or, so yeah.
So would you say the majority is still learning how to bring it into the human from the
Yes, I'd
spirit?
say big time. Yep.
What do you see there with humanity?
With humanity, it's you're talking like humanity in general, or like more the spiritual community?
Spiritual community.
Spiritual community, yeah. And so it was like you were saying earlier, a lot are still writing the words, and it could sound good on that end, but whenever you get to know them on a deeper level, you can still see that they still have to grow into the words that they're writing, or they still have to embody it more fully, because they're staying, in the fluff of the ascension, or, and it's truly about feeling our emotions and linking spirit to soul, and, going from there.
Okay, Chris, you've had some beautiful things written here. Thank you both for all you've shared. So appreciated. Love and blessings to both. Someone else said you were born for this. That's from Vicky. Kerry said, wow, Chris is glowing. How beautiful. Told you it was beautiful. Very profound, Chris. Jill said. Di said, thank you both so much. Feeling the upgrades. Much love and gratitude, both showing up. Tara, thank you, Chris. Your openness, gentleness, humble, truth, and nurturing is much appreciated. Yeah, you should try being in a space with him. I love it. Sorry, and Chris is my Jesus boy. Like, he's my very own special Jesus boy. You can have some of him too.
Come join us, right?
there's enough unconditional love for us to love with everybody, Chris, isn't it?
That's right.
It's free. Like, there's no competition. Yeah. We've got enough love for everybody. It's beautiful, isn't it? And together in unity, it is time to fully embody and transition. Gorgeous. Thank you, Chris, for sharing this. And it's so, again, they're all the words. So we're just going to continue every fortnight, every 2 weeks, to keep talking, to help you to embody more, as Chris talks and shares. Is just a whole different other vibration. And then us coming together is just, we love it. We love being together. And I'm glad we're going to be doing this for the year, Chris. It will go quick. You do know it will go. It will go pretty quickly. And there was a bit of energy to clear just to get here on the page today. So the picture's shifting again. There's a balancing of the masculine. So Chris, I will get to read your email. This is about the third or fourth time I've come to read it. And so here we go. So after the first video, I've watched the 1st of January's video, that live that I did, what I brought through 3 times. I needed it to help me through energies. Please be aware that there are coming up to close to 200 videos that will be on my new website. What about my new website? How exciting. That Weave the Light with Megan Catherine. We are creating and co-creating a brand new energy with that website. It's taking a lot of energy, and in that there will be videos. The videos will be showcased that when you're going through certain things in life, you'll be taken to watch. Here's a set of videos to choose from if you're going through whatever healing you're needing for whatever energy. So that's coming in the future. Okay, energies are shifting again. So just reminding that these will need once, twice, how many times, and sometimes in sections. They're very, very powerful videos. The 2 weeks, we were wondering whether to do 1 or 2 weeks. The 2 weeks is needed to give you time to watch this in bits, and then to go and process through all the other energies you're processing. So there's no rush. 2 weeks is beautiful, and I'm happy because it gives us that sense of unity, co-creating, and purpose for the whole year. And that brings me comfort, peace, and joy, because it's beautiful and magical every time we come together.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, for that. You embody. I'm just looking there. Okay, so someone said, yes, was going to say the same. Truly, Chris, so lovely. Jesus, boy, Christ consciousness, glowing, beautiful balance between you both. Yes, he is very much a brother spirit with me, Chris and I. We've established that a little while ago. We feel that kinship with each other. It is just very special, very special. So Chris wrote after the video, thank you so much for this amazing divine blessing and gifting. I felt this one so very deeply to my heart and core for sure. Actually, Chris, have you got that? Have you got that in front of you for you to read it?
Yeah, I could pull it up on my email.
That would be
see
better for you because it's from you. And this is something new, me handing over and bringing your
Mm.
energy in. So just take your time. Let me know when you found that for you to read that to us. And if there's anything you'd like to share as you're reading that, please feel free. That's let me know if you've got that in front of you and you're ready to go.
Thank you so much. That one that I sent you.
For this amazing divine blessing and
Yeah.
gifting.
Yes.
Yes, please. So please share away what you wrote because it'll come to light what the reason is for you reading that out and sharing it, because that was when Spirit said, videos, Chris, this email, we knew it was coming. I'm like, so I haven't had a moment to feel or even hear you read this out. So this is a first for me too.
Okay, here we go. Thank you so much for this amazing blessing and gifting. Felt this one so very deeply to my heart and core for sure. It was so awesome watching and feeling the gentle, peaceful calmness of the beginning and also with the ohms, to the beautiful passion towards the middle and then the deep, deep heartfelt love at the end. And yet each were also very palpable throughout at the same time too.
I'm going to ask you to slow it right down. I want you to take a breath in a moment with me.
Okay.
And I want you to read again and consciously, slowly feel it as you read it out word for word. There is a difference.
I got you. Okay.
And you don't know that until you have this opportunity. I didn't know that till that happened. I'm like, and when you started reading, I went, oh, that's too quick for me to feel into. Okay,
Yeah,
let me put it this way. I need a moment to feel into your words. And I'm asking, can you just please slow it down for me? That's
deeper.
all.
Got you. Okay, I'll start again.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this amazing divine blessing and gifting. Felt this so very deeply to my heart and core for sure. It was so awesome watching and feeling the gentle, peaceful calmness of the beginning and also with the ohms, to the beautiful passion towards the middle and then the deep, deep heartfelt love at the end. And yet each were also very palpable throughout at the same time too. Just had such an amazing, refreshing effect and feel to it. All that was just about the absolute best breath of fresh air that could have been brought through to Ring in 2022. The healing and visualizations of gold in all our energy centers and the black goo lifting up and out felt so good, up and through my core, shoulders, neck, and crown, along with the pool and the bucket of violet water was pure bliss.
Mhm.
It really is so awesome how powerful each of these lives truly are if one is conscious enough and allows themselves to deeply feel and uptake, because it can also very easily be missed as well if one is not conscious. Treasures hidden in plain sight, and all it takes to find them is to feel into them. The soul will show the way when the heart and the mind are able to work in harmony and in unison together as one, to open up to be received to such divine guidance and insight. Just shut up and be still for 2 freaking seconds is what I put. And then I quoted Dr. Evil by saying, throw me a freaking bone in here, Scott.
I love his humor.
Because we got to bring in humor too as well to be real, right? You know, and that's kind of how I am when writing as well.
Oh,
And
you
so
write as you speak. Write as you speak.
that's
That's
exactly
what I do.
it. Yep.
Best way. Yeah.
Okay. All that was brought through from the return of the bird tribes to the source dragon these were readings and healings, just hit so perfectly and so beautifully as another wave of honor and gratitude washed over me for all we are, for all we've come through in both our lifetimes and shit, even in just this last couple of years alone, both individually and collectively, and for all that has led us up until this point that we now stand in this present moment. Because ultimately, all has and always will be for our highest and greatest good and benefit. It's just in growing into and coming to terms to realize and accept that in the human, that takes time and effort. And that really begins to come when you are so perfectly put it, when as you so perfectly put it, when little by little we become aware of how, when, and where we're bullshitting ourselves, and then begin to fix those ways one by one, little by little. Again, thank you so much for this inspiring, heartfelt life message and beyond below the iceberg email, Anastacia, and also for the fact that you're still here with us in this way, that you still are. That's why I take to heart even more of what we're doing, working on, and bringing through together right now with this new platform and lives and everything, because truly, none of us are promised tomorrow. And like you alluded to today, you're not getting any younger either, as you consciously know and realize that your clock is ticking. And as my grandfather would say, this body knows and is telling me. And I'm sure the same is for you in all that you have been through as an ascension trailblazer pioneer, and as a template for humanity ahead of time and first to the planet. And so we do all we can with this time that we do have to shine our light, to help make a difference, and to clear a way to further assist humanity and Gaia along this ascension journey and process. In being honest with ourselves this year, I feel we're also going to be challenged, so to speak, to love, to honor, and to be gentle with ourselves even more, on an even deeper level, as we step up being real to a whole new level in embodiment. And so we continue on, hand in hand, jumping puddles together in divine faith and trust, choosing to dance in the rain when the storms come to pass us by, and who make lemonade when life gives us so-called lemons. As we are here creating a whole new reality from something totally new and so very special as New Earth pioneers.
Wow, how do you feel? You have just shared that with everybody. How you really feel and how you really felt is, how do you feel?
Amazing. like just like I could take a deep breath and it's like, yeah, just feels amazing. Wow.
You do feel amazing. As you were reading, I was seeing all these codes and energies, and you were upgrading, the voicing, the tabling, the sharing. This is a higher heart upgrade.
Yep, big time.
feeling all my energy centers expand when Chris read this. Oh yes, looking forward to hearing you read it, Chris. There's a healing in this heartfelt reading from Vicky. Great to see both your energies blending. Truly beautiful, Chris. Thank you. So beautiful to receive that, Chris. Deeply soothing and nourishing to the whole system. Beautiful reading, really feeling it all. Bless you, Chris. That's the love coming back to you from everybody. Your energy is so needed. And there's no rush. We're here. You got here. And we've got more puddles to jump and more fun to have for the rest of the year with everybody. And you're being you. And your light needs to come out from behind the bushel like everybody's has to now.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, when I write your name, I actually write Chrast every time. I've got to go back and take off the T.
Really?
Yep. And I go, there it is again, Christ. Oh, that's Chris. Just thought I'd tell you what that, I thought that was quite funny that happens. So, darling, is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, just that I'm just so grateful for today, Anastacia, and to be doing this with you. And I so look forward to continuing this every 2 weeks, and to also bringing along others to join us with this in this incredible journey.
Is there anything you'd like to say to them? Because what I said to you before we come on is when I said, with the energies, and you said, oh gosh, it's interesting coming on. And I said, it's challenging. And I've had to do that for the last 2 years with the videos. Every single one was challenging energetically. And you said, well, everyone's going to feel what that's like when they come on with you. I said, yep. And the thing is that for me, I love being able to share with you guys of being in 5D for 18 years actually already, and being in ninth dimensional energies, to be able to share with you that what I didn't have, the bits that I didn't have to say, oh, you're going to be feeling this, just take a moment. And I had to go through all those videos with everyone to go, okay, you're going to feel super anxious, you're going to feel this, just, it's such a blessing to be able to hold that platform with you, darling. Honestly, I feel so blessed.
And I'll say, on my part, it's such a blessing to be starting this out with you, and you holding this space with me, because otherwise, who's to say, honestly, because I know that you get me in this sense on a whole different level. So yeah,
darling,
thank you so much as well.
Oh, you just, honey, Christos, it's his new Greek name, Vicky. Yeah, Christos. So that's what we've given you. We've christened you the new Greek name, Christos. Okay, so that's it. So
Beautiful.
Everyone's just saying thank you so very much. So it's 10:11. So thank you for everybody. The aqua aura energy was meant to be brought through, some other things. I'll be giving a transcript of my notes to the email people that want to exchange by email. Thank you everybody for joining us, and I look forward to another 2 weeks. And Chris, thank you. What can we say? I'm looking forward to watching this back. Are you?
Me too, absolutely. Yeah, heck yeah.
All right, darling. All right, thank you everybody. Good morning or good night for wherever you are in the world. This was episode 1. It is the 9th of January here. It's the 8th for you, isn't it, Chris?
Yes.
And onwards and upwards, masters. I look forward to sharing more. So thank you, Chris. Thank you everybody for coming. Much love.
Much love, everybody.
All right, bye everyone.